This is the Viking Bonafide saddlebag, which is in the cafe range. It's the medium. They come in a black and also a brown. They also have a large, but this is the medium size. I chose the black because I think the black suits the bike better. Even though I do have a brown seat, I didn't want to run the risk of having two different shades of brown. Just try and match that. So this is what comes in when you purchase this item. You get the flexible mounting system. It looks pretty simple to actually put together. I haven't done this before, so this is going to be something that I'm going to learn as I go and show you guys the process. The bags themselves are made of I believe it's a wax canvas, or at least a water resistant canvas, and a good quality leather at the bottom here for an accent. So that's really nice. They've got anodized hooks on the sides for compression. So you can roll this thing down as far or as little as you want, and you can really pull it down and compress it. Also one that goes over the front. Very similar to a lot of saddlebags. So these things being aluminium is awesome and anodized, so they're obviously not going to corrode, and they're going to last a lot longer than plastic because you're not going to be able to break them as easy. So the Velcro is kind of a nice touch, especially here in Australia where we've just got bugs and insects that want to get in your gear. If you have something in there, this will just obviously stop them from crawling all the way in, so that's a nice little added touch. So that's the first bag. The second bag, exactly the same. It also has these, which I guess are really heavy weather rain coats for them if you want to throw that over the top. There's two of those and some more strapping. Obviously there's two of those and some more hooks, and these little guys here, which I'm assuming you would, if you really want to mount it to something and screw it down, or you have an existing bolt that you want to put through, and use that as a mounting point for it as well. I'm assuming that's what it's for. Like I said, I'm going to dive into it now and have a bit of a play. So I'm pretty sure there's many ways you can mount these things to a motorcycle. I've built this luggage rack. Actually, I'll leave a link to this video on how I built this thing in the description below if you want to go and check it out. But if you have just a seat, you don't have a luggage rack, you can probably still use this system. You can wrap this underneath and strap it down just on the seat itself. You don't necessarily need a luggage rack. I just thought I'd mention that. So this mounting system, the flexible mounting system, has two different lengths. Obviously it's got the short side this side and the long side on this side. So what I'm going to do is, because my luggage rack comes out, flares out up the front, I'm going to make the long side obviously there, which I'm assuming that's what it's designed to do. Just by looking at it, I kind of figured that must be the case. In the process of doing this, I might remove the seat to make life a little bit easier. Pretty much like a backpack, down and back up again. I guess a little bit like a belt as well, and then just pull it tight. Now I can do that up a little bit tighter, but I'll do the back one first. So same again, straight down through there, back up again, and then we'll just pull him tight. Obviously I could probably get that a little bit tighter. There's not much room. It's like this is almost designed for it. It's almost the exact length that I need. That is crazy. I honestly didn't build this for this. So what I've done so far is I've just pretty much hooked on the saddlebags onto the webbing. As you can see up the top here, they're like S hooks, and they just link up nice and easy like that. So you could probably reverse them. You could probably have this one going this one and this one going this way if you wanted to mess around with it, just to really secure them, to make them hard to get off. Now, nothing's tightened up, nothing's cinched up. It's just physically sitting there at the moment, but there's a couple of things that I'm not super happy about, and it's nothing to do with the bags. The bags are fantastic. The construction, everything seems really good. It's just, I would like it to sit more like this. And due to the fact that I've taken out probably that much of the bike, this would normally be at the back on top of the actual length of the seat. And you can see in this video here that I've actually taken out that whole section. So it's something that you have to keep in mind with these saddlebags or panniers or whatever you're going to put on your bike. Also, you can see my blinkers or signals are actually covered, so they're not now visible, which is a huge thing. So that, as well as the number plate being set back to about here where my hand is, that's a no-go. So what I'm going to do, just thinking about this, is I would like to make an extra bracket, something that maybe sits on or under this, that just holds these out, I guess like this. It would sit like this on a normal bike. On a stock bike it would probably be fine because you obviously have that for it to sit over. But for me, on this bike, because it's all custom and been chopped back and changed, it doesn't sit the way I want it to. So the reason that these signals or indicators are actually being blocked right now is because I've shortened this motorcycle. It wouldn't be a problem on a standard bike, which, like I said, I'm going to show you in a second, just to let you know that this should not be an issue. These saddlebags are designed to go on a stock motorcycle, and this is definitely not stock. So let's get this on another bike and I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see, they fit perfectly on a motorcycle. That's not even, you know, all the way to the end. That can go all the way down to about there, where my finger is. So you can have them sitting even further down if you want. I've just got it sitting there like that at the moment, and they can pretty much push in up against this rail here. So you can probably see better on this side. So that rail is what they would rest up against this here. And then you can obviously use the straps that they provide. Pull it all in nice and tight, and you'll be done with it. These saddlebags are pretty much, you know, they're a cafe racer style saddlebag, and as you can see, they'll fit perfectly on this bike. The indicators are visible, as you can see from both sides, the tail light, the number plate. On a stock bike, you have no problems. When you start messing around with the tail end, you know, like this guy over here, this is a Brat style bike. Obviously, it can be a cafe racer as well, just by putting the hump on the back. Now that, if you had an integrated tail light in that with the blinkers on either side, tail light in the middle, in that actual hoop, then that would work quite well. You could actually do this. And obviously you'd have to figure out the number plate depending on where you put it, off to one side at the back or at the very back here on a plate. That would work. You wouldn't have a problem with these. Any sort of saddlebag that you put on a cafe racer to carry luggage is probably going to be an issue if you have shortened this seat. But if you have a cafe racer, you would probably be used to retrofitting things. So retrofitting something like this isn't really going to be too big of an issue. Just make a cardboard template like I'm going to do, and I'll show you that process. So if you want to do it, you can yourself or get someone else who's a fabricator to knock something together. So the more I think about this idea of actually having this removable, as in like a quick release removable, I'm really liking it. The reason being is probably for a couple of reasons. For me, camping, I could always just take it off fast if I want to throw it in the tent if it's raining, or if I put food in one and I'm just worried about animals getting into it through the night, then I don't have to worry if it's in the tent. Maybe, you know, you're worried about people in the area, if someone's going to steal something or take it off, then you don't have to worry about it because it's now off the bike. Or even, for instance, if you ride to work and you work in an office or somewhere and you pretty much need to carry some stuff to work and you just want to take this off, you know, 5 minutes of unstrapping it isn't a real big deal, but if you do it every day, it kind of gets frustrating. So if you can make it just quick release, removable, take it off, carry it with you, if it's items bigger than what you could put in your backpack, then this is perfect. With these punch flare dies, they're designed to work through different thicknesses. This is stainless, so it says only 1 mil, I think, 18 or 19 gauge, something like that. But this is 1.6, so it's going to struggle, and it already did struggle to try and go through it with the bolt method. I have pretty much located it, so I've got it in position now. So what I'm going to do is just bring out this big guy, obviously, and just press it down the rest of the way. I don't know if I'm going to break it. I could potentially break it. I don't think I will, but if I do, I do. Just give it a go. I reckon it'll be able to go through, but we'll soon find out. So that's pretty much it at the moment. I will put the saddlebags on and just show you how it sits. However, there's a few things I still need to do to it, one of which just put a brace in here. It's not bad, but I just want to fix up any movement that it has. The number plate bracket's going to go on here as well. I've already got one of those. Actually, when I did the video on 3 ways to mount a motorcycle number plate, here's one. I had the mudguard style one here, which sat about there somewhere, and also the one from down here. This bracket is from the one down here. I've already got it made, it's been powder coated, so I may as well just use it and just mount it somewhere here and integrate the blinkers or signals, whatever you want to call them, and the tail light into this. I mean, you can see this tail light, so I don't necessarily need one, but it doesn't really hurt because this is only a tiny little slit. It is quite bright, but it doesn't hurt to have a second one. If it's an integration one, like it has the 3 in it, I might just throw it on there and be done with it. What else needs to be done? Okay, so I'm going to line this with the underside with like a rubber, I guess, so it doesn't move around. And this, the thread that you can see poking up here, won't be there because obviously that'll be taken up with the rubber that's on the underside. So I'm not going to cut that thread. And how to get it off, it's quite simple. You would have seen me using these. I just went down to my local bike shop. It is a seat post clamp with the cam on it. So it was perfect for what I needed to make this quick release, and I'll show you how it works. Once I completely paint this and obviously get it lined with the rubber, I'll be able to get the adjustments correct, but at the moment it's just a matter of pulling this down and then pulling that plate out like that, and then obviously the whole thing can just come off. So nice and easy, quick to remove if you need to. I think it's perfect. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And that's it. Just back in and locked on. Like I said, you can make that adjustment up the top here to get it tighter, but I will sort that out once obviously everything else is done. So that's the saddlebags up on the bike at the moment. I'm really happy with how they sit. That bracket worked perfectly. The only thing is the adjustment. If I ever need to make that adjustment to tighten this little thing up under here, the quick release lever, I can get my hands under here and probably do it from under here just with 2 fingers and just turning it. That'll work. Alternatively, I could always, I guess, punch a hole in here and put an eyelet in. That would also be another option. I don't think it really needs it, and there's probably going to be a big bag on top here, so it'll make it a little bit hard to obviously get to that, but you can always slide your hand under it, so no dramas there. All I have to do is strap this somehow to that bracket, mount it permanently, and then whenever I need to remove the saddlebags, it's just a matter of putting my hand under there, pulling that lever, and the entire thing comes off. That is so cool. So for the mounting system, it comes with 2 of these and 4 of these. These are like a compression strap. It's got an eyelet at this end, as you can see in the webbing that's been sewn in, and also a hook at this end. So what you could do is, obviously a standard motorcycle would have pretty much stuff back here, like the taillight and all the stuff that would be back here, so you could go from one to the other, I guess, in one sense, with another one of those hooks, or you could use one of these eye bolt things, find a bolt somewhere at the back here. You could do one at this side or one at the other end. Like I said, I made the bracket for this bike because I don't have anything back here, because I've shortened the bike, but most bikes would already have that. So what I'll end up probably doing is going around this whole thing so it can't come out, and that'll keep it all in place. For instance, you could use these little guys down here. There's a bolt down here you may be able to see. You could use it there. There's also one on the other side of that frame, so you could use that. And you could grab these, hook them in, and then pull them down from that point somewhere down there, down here. Obviously, you've got to be mindful of this shock absorber moving. You could go around the frame, once again be mindful of this. There's multiple different webbing eyelets that have been sewn in to give you multiple different ways to mount this for a different motorcycle. So it's kind of cool. I thought I'd show you how I'm doing it. It's not necessarily the right way, it's just the way that I figured that works for me on this motorcycle. So I really hope that video was in some way helpful to you. If you're looking at motorcycle luggage, go and check out what Viking bags have. I'll leave a link to their website in the description below, as well as the 22% discount. Take advantage of that when you check out. It's CAFE22 is the discount code. If you're looking for, whether it's, saddlebags, you're looking for the bag that sits on the back, or even if it's tank bags, doesn't matter what sort of motorcycle you have, they've got a bunch of different things there. Go and check them out. Have an amazing day, and I will chat with you in the next video.